Good morning, students. How are you? I hope all of you are fine. As you know that chapter 6 Detectives 2 is going on and we have completed some part of this chapter. Before starting remaining part of this chapter, I want to give you quick recap of the part which we have studied. So, listen. The narrator and his sister plan to visit their grandparents for their summer vacation. On the way from the bus stop to their grandparents' house, they see a house in flames. Appu, their grandfather's help, had come to pick them up. Seeing the house in flames, he rushes to help. The children continue their journey home on a bullock cart. When they reach home, they realize that their grandfather has gone to help Hari Swami, whose house caught fire. After some time, grandfather returns from the place of mishappening and he describes all destructions and damages which are caused by fire. After some time, Appu comes home and tells grandfather that his elder brother has been caught by the police because they suspect that he has set the house on fire. Appu is sure that his brother is innocent, so the children decide to help Appu. The narrator feels he should help Appu. They feel the incident was caused by an invisible force. The narrator has a theory of flammable and inflammable things and he decides to carry out his investigation. Okay, students, now let's start the remaining part of this chapter. Patti, we go mad every time we come here. Blame the air around the village. Sunita lowered her voice and asked, Patti, can we go for a walk? Her tone now was sugary. When grandmother asked that both of you had gone mad, the children answered that every time, whenever they came to the village, they became mad. Just because of air of the village was responsible for it that we behaved like a mad person. Sunita also took permission to grandmother with very slow and flattery voice that if they could go for walk. ग्रैंडमदर ने पूछा उनसे क्या तुम पागल हो गए हो, तो उन्होंने जवाब दिया कि यहाँ जब जब हम गांव में आते हैं तो यहाँ की हवा का हमारे ऊपर ऐसा असर होता है कि हम ऐसा बिहेव करने लग जाते हैं. अब बच्चों को बाहर जाना था तो बहुत फ्लैटरी, बहुत स्लो और मासूम सी आवाज़ में सुनीता ने ग्रैंडमदर से परमिशन मांगी कि क्या हम बाहर जा सकते हैं. Take Appu along. He knows the place well. Patti gave us the green signal. Appu followed us silently. Grandmother permitted and said, went with Appu because he knew the village very well. His eyes were moist. He was worried about Sukku. Cheer up, Appu, we may find some clue to the fire that may clear Sukku. I put my arm on his shoulder and made him sense that we were with him. Appu was upset, so his eyes were wet. आंसू थे उसकी आंखों में. The narrator gave him sympathy and said that definitely they might find some clues about fire, and those clues cleared the situation of Sukku, and definitely those clues made Sukku innocent. And narrator also put his hand on the arm, on the shoulder of Appu. उन्होंने अपना हाथ उसके कंधे पे भी रखा, जिससे कि अप्पू को फील हो सके कि वो दोनों बच्चे उनके साथ हैं और वो इस बात पे बिलीव करते हैं कि सुक्कू इनोसेंट है. You mean it? Hope lit up his eyes. Yes, Sunita was quick to comment. After listening this, Appu felt good, and Sunita answered yes and confirmed that both were with him, with Appu, and they would investigate and might find some clues. Those would prove his brother innocent. Hari Swami's house was set in an acre of land like other houses in Kerala those days. Coconut trees with their crowns of leaves and nuts danced in the wind. The footpath ran around, twisting round the trees. On the sides stood plantains, some holding heavy bunches of bananas. Hari Swami's house was set in 1 acre land, just like another houses in Kerala. Coconut tree and banana trees were grown in his house. There was footpath all around the house, and there were plants of bananas side by side. जो केरलाज में पहले घर हुआ करते थे उसी तरीके का घर था हरी स्वामी का. बीच में घर, चारों तरफ फुटपाथ और चारों तरफ कोकोनट और बनाना ट्री लगे हुए थे और हवा चल रही थी, तो वो बनानास, बंच ऑफ बनाना एंड जो कोकोनट थे वो हवा में स्विंग कर रहे थे. Nobody stopped us till we neared the spot of the mishap. The policeman, who was still gathering evidence, gave us a stern stare. "This is no place for you," he growled. When they reached place where accident had occurred, a policeman stopped them and said that was not an appropriate place for children. "You should not come here." The policeman was also investigating some clues over there. उनको वहाँ पहुँचने तक किसी ने नहीं रोका, मगर जब वो वहाँ पहुँचे तो उन्होंने देखा कि एक पुलिसमैन वहाँ खड़ा हुआ है. उन्होंने उसको स्टॉप किया और मना भी किया कि ये बच्चों के खेलने की जगह नहीं है. "Sorry, just tell us, when did the fire start? Any idea?" Sunita put on such a sweet face that the cop cooled down instantly. Instantly? Turant. Cop, police. "At about 11:15, I think," he said. Sunita felt sorry for it, but also asked the time of mishappening. Means, When did the fire start? Did you have any idea? Sunita asked to cop in such a pleasant way, in such a innocent way, that quickly कॉप कूल्ड डाउन. बहुत इनोसेंट फेस बनाकर उसने क्वेश्चन पुटअप किया. तो उसके बच्चे की इनोसेंसी को देखकर पुलिस जो कॉप थे उनका गुस्सा शांत हो गया, कूल डाउन हो गया. एंड टोल्ड द टाइम ऑफ मिस हैपनिंग ऑफ फायर स्टार्टेड एट 8:15 अप्रोक्सीमेटली. मतलब उन्होंने, पुलिस ने कहा कि पूरा कंफर्म वो नहीं बता सकते, बट अप्रोक्सीमेटली maybe 11:15. Thank you. We walked off looking out for anything that would explain the role of an outside hand in the fire, but we drew a blank. Children thanked policemen and returned from that place, and also they were looking around for any clues which could prove the hand of outsider behind the fire, but they did not find any clue. What goes your theory? Sunita said while we walked back to Tatha's house. I would not say that. We shall return here with a roll of old newspapers around 11 a.m. tomorrow and place it where the haystack once stood. We will then get a chance to prove our theory or to discard it. I asserted. Asserted means अपनी बात को जोर देकर कहना, दबाव देकर कहना. When narrator and his sister were returning to their home, Sunita told that theory did not exist. Your theory proved wrong. Narrator did not agree with Sunita and said that he was not agree that theory did not work. He would return again at the same place tomorrow with newspaper around 11 a.m. and he would place the roll of newspaper where haystack once stood. नरेटर ने बोला कि वो अभी इस बात को नहीं बोल सकता कि थ्योरी रॉन्ग है या सही है. कल वो दोबारा सेम प्लेस पर आएंगे अराउंड 11 a.m. और कुछ जब कल आएंगे तो न्यूज़पेपर के रोल्स भी लेकर आएंगे और उन न्यूज़पेपर के रोल्स को वहाँ रखेंगे जहाँ से आग स्टार्ट हुई थी, जहाँ पहले हेस्टैक रखे हुए थे. आफ्टर दैट ही वुड से एनीथिंग अबाउट हिज थ्योरी. आफ्टर दैट ही कुड कन्फर्म अबाउट वर्दी ऑफ थ्योरी. और कल जब वो ये पूरा प्रोसेस करेंगे, अपनी थ्योरी को प्रूव करने की कोशिश करेंगे नरेटर, उसके बाद वो कह सकते हैं कि उनकी थ्योरी सही है या गलत है. देन ही कुड से थ्योरी वॉज यूजफुल और नॉट टू प्रूव दैट देयर वॉज एन इनविजिबल फोर्स बिहाइंड द फायर. Okay, after such a experiment, narrator would say anything about theory. Before this experiment, he could not say anything about the theory of invisible force. Patti was not happy when we set out the next day around 10:55 a.m. Appu was with us. He was downcast, for the police were holding Sukku in the lockup on suspicion. Hari Mama was at the gate. We greeted him. He asked us, "When did you come?" Grandmother was not happy when they again wanted to go outside the house at 10:55 a.m. But she gave permission and sent Appu with them. That time Appu was depressed and sad and unhappy because police arrested the Sukku and hold him in the lockup because they considered that Sukku as the suspected of fire which caught the house of Hari Swami. When children reached at the place, or you can say house of Hari Swami, they found Hari Mama at the main gate. हेयर हरी मामा, जैसे कि हम जानते हैं अपने मम्मी के घर मैटरनल हाउस में कभी भी जाते हैं तो वहाँ जो भी उनको हम मामा मौसी इस तरीके से ही एड्रेस करते हैं. तो हरी मामा उन्होंने उनको क्या एड्रेस किया, मामा. हरी मामा एट द मेन गेट, they greeted him. Hari asked that when children did come. हरी मामा ने पूछा कि आप सब लोग कब आए. Yesterday. Sorry to hear about the fire, Sunita grinned. Sunita answered that they came yesterday and they also felt sorry about mishappening. Hari Mama smiled wanly. Then he moved off saying, I have to report the matter to the insurance company. I will see you in the evening. Wanly means मतलब बिना energetically मुस्कुराना. Hari Mama smiled without energetically and he moved and said that he would meet them in the evening because he had to report to the insurance company about the fire and loss. We moved fast towards the spot where the hay stack once stood. I checked the time on the watch. It was 11:10. Hurriedly, we tore the paper to shreds, formed a pile on the ground, and waited. It took ages, I thought, before a flash of light fell on the pile, and lo, the pile burst into flames. After that, children hurriedly moved towards where hay stack stood. Narrator noticed that time was 11:10, and then he tore and shred the papers and made the pile of torn papers. And they stood there and waited. And they were waited over there. That time, narrator thought that it would take some time. Ages. It took ages means particular time, particular length of time. Sometime narrator was thinking that it would take particular length of time. Narrator, and at that time, same time, something happened. That flash of light fell upon the pile and pile burst, means started burning, and flames of fire came from the pile of papers. मीन्स जब हरी मामा ने बोला कि वो जल्दी में है, शाम को मिलते हैं, तो दोनों बच्चे उधर जहाँ जो प्लेस था जहाँ पर मिस हैपनिंग हुई थी, जहाँ से फायर स्टार्ट हुई थी, वो वहाँ जाते हैं. फटाफट जो न्यूज़पेपर वो अपने साथ लाते हैं उसको फाड़ते हैं और उसका एक पाइल बनाते हैं और वहाँ पर वो रखते हैं और दोनों वेट करते हैं. मीनवाइल नरेटर सोचते हैं कि इस पूरे प्रोसेस को थ्योरी प्रूव करने में थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, और जब वो सोच रहे हैं उसी टाइम अचानक ऑल ऑफ सडन बस्ट होता है, और जो टोर्स ऑफ जो वहाँ पे ढेर होता है कागज़ का, उसमें आग लग जाती है और उसमें से आग की फ्लेम्स, आग की लपटें बाहर निकलने लगती हैं। There it goes. I could not contain my joy. Sunita and I traced the direction of the light to its source. Contain my joy means वो अपनी खुशी को छुपा नहीं सकते थे, इतने ज़्यादा खुश थे वो. After seeing this, narrator explained that he could not control his joy. He became happy because he proved his theory of invisible force. Then Sunita and narrator traced the source of light, means from where light was coming. We noticed a broken piece of glass, hard and tough and cylindrical, embedded बहुत फिक्स तरीके से जमीन में धसा हुआ होना. In the ground, only a small section of it stood above the ground. It caught the sun's rays and sent them back at around 11:15. The rays of the sun came at an angle and focused on the pile of paper. Listen. Then Sunita and narrator traced the source of light from where light was coming, and they found that a piece of glass which was hard and tough and in cylindrical shape was fixed in the ground, and only some part of glass above the ground. This part of glass absorb the sun rays and reflect back those sun rays. And about near 11:15, rays of sun came at particular angle, and these sun rays directly laid on the pile of paper. Means उन्होंने उसका पीछा किया कि वो लाइट कहाँ से आ रही है, तो उन्होंने देखा कि एक पीस ऑफ ग्लास, कांच का टुकड़ा है जो ज़मीन में आधा से ज़्यादा पार्ट उसका बहुत स्ट्रॉन्गली ज़मीन में फिक्स है, और छोटा सा पार्ट जो है वो ग्राउंड के ऊपर है. और वो जो पीस ऑफ ग्लास है उसका क्या रोल है कि जो भी सन की रेज होती हैं वो उनको एब्जॉर्व करता है और रिफ्लेक्ट बैक दोबारा कहीं वो सेंड करता है. आप और अराउंड 11:15 आपने पढ़ा ही है कि 12 o'clock जो 11:15 होती हैं, हमने साइंस में पढ़ा है कि जो मतलब रेज ऑफ सन होती हैं वो बिल्कुल स्ट्रेट आती हैं अपने अर्थ पर. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला है नरेटर ने कि 11:15 में जो रेज है उनका एक पर्टिकुलर एंगल बनता है, और वो पूरी की पूरी सन रेज वो ग्लास जो है वो एब्जॉर्व करता है, उसको रिफ्लेक्ट बैक कहाँ करता है, जहाँ वो हे स्टेक रखे हुए हैं या फिर नरेटर ने वो पाइल ऑफ पेपर्स रखे थे. तो जब कंटिन्यूस जो हीट है वो पाइल ऑफ पेपर्स पे पड़ती है तो वो पेपर्स जलने लग जाते हैं, क्योंकि जो ड्राई हे स्टैक्स होते हैं या पाइल ऑफ पेपर्स होते हैं वो इनफ्लेमेबल होते हैं. मीन्स जल्दी आग पकड़ लेते हैं थोड़ी सी भी हीट से. There is your culprit, Sunita told Appu. We did not disturb the piece of glass. We needed it to hold another demonstration the next day to prove Sukku's innocence. We did that beyond a shadow of doubt, and we were hailed as detective too. Beyond a shadow of doubt means कि जिस बात को प्रूव करने के लिए कोई शक ना हो, जिस बात को क्लियरली और पूरे कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ बोला जा सके. शेडो ऑफ डाउट का मतलब ये होता है कि हाँ, मुझे अपनी बात पे पूरा फुल कॉन्फिडेंस है कि इसमें कोई भी डाउट नहीं है. ओके. सुनीता टोल्ड अप्पू that the piece of glass was responsible for fire. Means real culprit of fire was piece of glass. They did not pull the glass from ground because that was important clue, and you can say evidence to prove the theory to another people so that they could prove that Sukku was innocent. And the cause of fire was this piece of glass. With certainty, children proved their theory and introduced the truth of fire in front of villagers. They escaped innocent Sukku and discovered the truth so that they were praised as detectives too in the विलेज. उन्होंने अपनी थ्योरी से सुक्कू को इनोसेंट प्रूव किया और इस वजह से पूरे गांव में वो डिटेक्टिव्स 2 के नाम से जानने आई कांट से इन हिंदी, मतलब जानने लगे लोग बाग उनको. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the chapter very, very well. It is very interesting chapter and also prove the theory of flammable and inflammable things. In tomorrow, I will send question and answers. Watch and listen the video very carefully. Thanks and have a nice day.